What's up, everybody? Tom Pelissero here on the final day of the 3-week stay for the Vikings in Mankato. I've talked to a number of guys over the past couple of days about exactly what sort of identity the team has taken on, which is always a difficult thing to define because if you don't perform on the field, it doesn't matter what your identity is. The thing guys keep coming back to was that early stretch of 6 consecutive days in pads in training camp, the fact that there wasn't any sort of a letdown, that you didn't have guys complaining, even if the performance varied, you still had guys working hard, and that's a big part of what the Vikings have to be able to do this season. Is when you're coming off a 3-13 season, when you're going to be one of the youngest teams in the NFL, you got to figure out a way to outwork people. The Vikings feel as though they have the sort of mentality in the group of guys who are going to be able to do that. Now again, it all comes down to whether or not they're going to be able to carry that over and actually have it translated to their performance on game days. But part of the thing when you have young guys is you have a lot of energy around the team, you tend to have a lot of enthusiasm around the team, and no matter what you think of their chances this season and the fact that on a personnel basis they're 4th out of 4 in the division, they do seem to have that. It'll be interesting to see now how some of these pieces come together, starting on Friday night against Buffalo. Starters should play midway through the second quarter in that game. All those guys who sat out last week, Jared Allen, Antoine Winfield, Kevin Williams, Percy Harvin, those guys all should play. You'll see some of the evolution. Maybe the best news out of this camp is, other than Greg Childs suffering that horrific injury in the scrimmage on that first Saturday night, no major injuries to guys they expected to contribute. Jeff Schwartz had the sports hernia surgery. He's going to miss time. He's probably going to be at least questionable for the opener. He's lost out in the right guard competition. But other than that, they haven't had that one thing that you can point to and say that's something that's really going to hurt them from an injury standpoint. They also haven't had any sort of moments where they had to go into damage control. They've had no major drama. We've been talking about that throughout camp. A little attention there's been on the Vikings. That doesn't hurt you. When you're going to be one of the teams that everybody's pegging 29th, 30th, 31st in every national power rankings out there, flying below the radar to that extent, I think actually does help you. In the end, it's a matter of how much talent do you have, how many games you're going to be able to win. But in terms of the mentality, the approach, and sort of the consistency through this in terms of what guys have been able to put on the field, it actually, overall, there's not a lot of guys who are going to complain about what the Vikings have been able to get done. We'll be back up in the Twin Cities finally tomorrow and covering that game on Friday night at the Metrodome. Full Vikings coverage, as always, at 1500ESPN.com. We'll see you.